If I told you there are 10 truths that could change your life, your confidence, and your future, would you dare to listen? Every woman needs to hear this. Not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. In a world where expectations are piled high and distractions are everywhere, it's easy for a woman to forget her own worth, her dreams, and her power. This is not just another motivational talk. This is a wake-up call. A mirror held up to remind you of the strength that's been inside you all along. You are more than what the world says you are. You are more than the titles you carry or the roles you play. And today you're going to discover the 10 powerful principles that will help you rise, lead, and live on your own terms. These are not random tips. These are the 10 things that every woman who has built a life she loves swears by. Miss even one, and you could miss the key to unlocking your full potential. Listen closely, because your transformation starts here. 1. Know your worth before they tell you otherwise. From the very moment you open your eyes in the morning, the world tries to tell you who you are. Advertisements tell you what beauty should look like. Social media tells you what success should feel like. Society whispers its expectations into your ears, sometimes so subtly you don't even notice it's happening. And if you are not careful, those voices will become your truth. But here's the real truth. Your worth existed long before anyone had an opinion about you. It existed before you had a certain job, before you achieved a milestone, before you were in a relationship or out of one. You were born with value, and no person, no rejection, no failure, and no title can take that away. Knowing your worth is not just about having confidence, it's about having an unshakable foundation that no one else can touch. It's about walking into a room and not asking, "Am I enough?" but knowing, "I am more than enough." It's about deciding that your self-esteem will no longer be at the mercy of who applauds for you and who stays silent. Too many women have been taught to measure themselves by the yardstick of someone else's approval. You post something online, and if it doesn't get enough likes, you question yourself. You speak your mind in a meeting, and if no one nods in agreement, you shrink back. This constant need for external confirmation is like building a house on sand. One strong wave of criticism, and it all crumbles. When you truly know your worth, you no longer need the world to clap for you to keep walking. You know that applause is nice, but it's not oxygen. You stop chasing the validation of people who don't even value themselves. And that's a turning point. When your self-worth comes from within, not from the outside. But here's the hard part: the world benefits when you forget your value. Insecure people are easier to control. People who doubt themselves are easier to manipulate. That's why it's your job to protect your mind like you would your home. If someone came to your door and started throwing garbage into your living room, you would never allow it. So why allow people to dump toxic words and limiting beliefs into your head? One way to build your worth is to remind yourself daily of what you bring to the table. Write it down if you have to. Your strengths, your achievements, the challenges you've overcome, the skills you've developed, the lives you've impacted, the times you thought you couldn't get through something but did. These are not small things. These are the receipts of your resilience. Another way is to stop tolerating situations that undervalue you. That job that keeps overlooking your potential, that relationship that keeps making you question yourself, that friendship that feels one-sided. These are all mirrors showing you whether you believe in your worth or not. If you continue to accept less than you deserve, you are silently telling the world, "This is enough for me." But it's not. And sometimes knowing your worth means being comfortable walking away. That's the scary part. Because walking away means uncertainty. But it's in that uncertainty that you often find the truest form of respect, self-respect. When you begin to live from a place of worth, your posture changes. Your tone changes. Your decisions change. You don't just take what's given, you choose what's worthy. You no longer chase, you attract. You stop explaining yourself endlessly. You stop apologizing for existing. You stop dimming your light to make someone else's insecurity feel safe. The people who truly see your worth will rise to meet you at your level. The ones who don't will fall away. And that's not a loss. That's a filter. Your worth was never meant to be decided by a crowd. It was meant to be declared by you and you alone. 2. Protect your energy like a diamond. Your energy is your most valuable currency. And once it's spent, you can't get it back. Yet most people guard their money more fiercely than they guard their energy. They'll think twice before lending someone $50, but they'll give away hours of their time, their mental peace, and their emotional strength without hesitation. You have to understand, your energy is not limitless. And if you allow the wrong people, environments, and habits to drain it, you will have nothing left for the life you truly want to build. Protecting your energy is not about living in isolation or being cold toward others. It's about being intentional with who and what you allow into your mental, emotional, and spiritual space. It's about realizing that just as you wouldn't hand over a diamond to someone who doesn't value it, you shouldn't hand over your energy to people or situations that don't honor it. Every day you are in an exchange, giving and receiving energy. Some conversations will lift you, some will drain you. Some people will inspire you, some will exhaust you. Some environments will fuel your creativity, some will suffocate it. The secret is learning to notice the difference. This means paying attention to how you feel after you interact with certain people or engage in certain activities. Do you feel lighter, inspired, and more alive? Or do you feel tense, frustrated, and depleted? Your body and mind are constantly giving you feedback. You just have to listen. The reality is there are energy thieves everywhere. They can come disguised as friends, co-workers, or even family members. They may not be evil people, but their constant negativity, drama, or demands can slowly drain the life out of you. And if you don't create boundaries, you'll find yourself burnt out, resentful, and wondering why you have no motivation left for your own dreams. Boundaries are your shield. They're not walls to keep love out. They're fences with gates that you control. A boundary can be as simple as saying no to an invitation you don't feel aligned with. It can be limiting your time around people who constantly complain but never take action. It can be silencing notifications during the hours you need to focus on yourself. It can even be ending a conversation when it's heading into a toxic spiral. And here's the thing. You don't have to explain every boundary you set. People who truly respect you will understand. Those who don't will try to make you feel guilty. But remember, guilt is often a sign that you're breaking an old pattern of people-pleasing. And that's a good thing. Protecting your energy also means protecting your self-talk. Sometimes the biggest energy thief is not outside of you but inside your own mind. Every time you tell yourself you're not good enough, that you're behind in life, or that you'll never succeed, you are draining your own power. You need to be as vigilant with your thoughts as you are with your time. Replace self-criticism with self-compassion. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you deeply love. Another key to energy protection is understanding that rest is not laziness. We live in a culture that glorifies being busy as if exhaustion is a badge of honor. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. Your mind, body, and soul need moments of stillness to recharge. This might mean scheduling quiet mornings with no phone, taking walks in nature, practicing meditation, or simply giving yourself permission to do nothing for a while. Your energy is the foundation of everything. Your relationships, your work, your health, your creativity. If it's constantly depleted, nothing in your life can thrive. The more you guard it, the more you will find that you have energy left for the things and people that truly matter. And in that space, you'll start to see your life transform in ways you never imagined. 3. Invest in your mind relentlessly. Your mind is the most powerful asset you own. It's the one tool that will either open doors for you or lock you inside limitations. The quality of your life will always reflect the quality of your thoughts, and the quality of your thoughts depends on what you feed your mind. Yet too many people invest more in their wardrobes, their gadgets, or even their coffee habits than they do in the development of their own minds. Investing in your mind is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Because everything you want to achieve, every change you want to make, every dream you want to live, begins first in your thoughts. If your mind is limited, your possibilities will be limited. If your mind is expanded, your possibilities will be endless. The first step to truly investing in your mind is to become a lifelong learner. That means reading books that challenge you, listening to podcasts that inspire you, taking courses that push you beyond your comfort zone, and surrounding yourself with conversations that make you think deeper. The moment you believe you know enough is the moment you stop growing. Knowledge is not something you collect once and keep on a shelf. It's something you must constantly replenish and refresh. But it's not just about consuming information, it's about consuming the right information. What you put into your mind daily shapes your perspective. If all you feed it is gossip, negativity, and shallow distractions, then that's what your thinking will produce. If you feed it stories of resilience, lessons from great minds, and ideas that stretch your imagination, you begin to think differently. And thinking differently is the first step to living differently. Investing in your mind also means being intentional about who you learn from. Not every voice deserves to guide your thoughts. Seek mentors who have walked the path you want to take. Learn from people whose actions align with their words. Surround yourself with those who inspire you to aim higher, not those who encourage you to settle for less. And here's something that's often overlooked. Your mind also grows through challenge. When you face problems, when you're forced to think critically, when you have to find creative solutions, your mental muscles strengthen. Too many people avoid discomfort, not realizing that discomfort is often the classroom where your greatest growth happens. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That shift in perspective is mental investment in action. Another way to relentlessly invest in your mind is to guard it against mental junk. Just as you wouldn't fill your body with harmful substances and expect to feel healthy, you can't fill your mind with toxic input and expect clarity or inspiration. This means limiting exposure to constant bad news, stepping away from negative social media spirals, and being selective with entertainment that only distracts but never uplifts. You should also actively train your mind to focus. In a world designed to scatter your attention, focus is becoming a superpower. Meditation, journaling, and single tasking are powerful tools to strengthen your concentration. The sharper your focus, the faster you'll progress in anything you pursue. And never forget, your mind thrives on curiosity. Curiosity is the spark that keeps learning alive. Ask questions, explore subjects outside your usual interests. Study history, science, art, culture, philosophy, even if it doesn't seem useful in the moment. Every piece of knowledge you gather becomes a thread, and over time, those threads weave connections that lead to new ideas, opportunities, and breakthroughs. The more you invest in your mind, the more valuable you become, not just to the world but to yourself. Because when your thinking expands, your courage expands, your vision expands, and your ability to create a life you love expands with it. 4. Speak up. Even if your voice shakes, there comes a moment in every woman's life when she realizes that silence is not safety, it's surrender. You may think keeping quiet keeps the peace, but often it just keeps the problem alive. The world has always been more comfortable when women remain in the background, smiling politely while swallowing their opinions. But nothing changes when you stay silent. And if your truth stays locked inside, so does your power. Speaking up is not about being loud or confrontational. It's about refusing to hide your perspective, your needs, and your boundaries. Your voice is the tool you were given to shape the world around you. And if you don't use it, someone else will use theirs to define your reality. For many women, speaking up feels risky. Maybe you were taught from a young age to be nice and don't cause trouble. Maybe you've been in environments where anyone who disagreed was shut down, criticized, or punished. Maybe you've experienced moments where you gathered the courage to say something only to be dismissed, mocked, or ignored. Each one of those experiences can leave a scar that whispers, "It's not worth it." But here's the truth: every time you choose silence when you need to speak, you reinforce that fear. Every time you use your voice, even if your heart races, you chip away at it. It's important to understand that speaking up doesn't always have to happen in a grand stage moment. It can be as small and as significant as saying, "No, I'm not comfortable with that." It can be asking for what you deserve at work instead of hoping someone will notice your efforts. It can be telling a friend that a joke they made wasn't funny but hurtful. It can be telling your partner what you truly need in a relationship instead of hoping they'll just guess. Courage in communication often starts in small doses. You might tremble the first time. Your voice might quiver. You might even rehearse the words in your head 100 times before they come out. But here's what happens with every instance: you grow stronger. You begin to realize that your words have weight, that they can shift conversations, open opportunities, and demand respect. Speaking up also means standing for what you believe in even when you're standing alone. That's not easy because the moment you voice a strong opinion, you open yourself to criticism. But understand this: criticism is not proof that you're wrong. It's proof that you made someone think. Silence might protect you from criticism, but it also protects the very thing you want to change. And speaking up isn't just for your sake, it's for the sake of others who haven't found their voice yet. Every time you speak your truth, you give silent permission for others to do the same. Think about the times you've heard someone share an experience or opinion that mirrored your own and how it made you feel less alone. That's the power of a single voice. It echoes in the hearts of those who hear it. Of course, speaking up requires more than just courage. It requires clarity. If you want your words to make an impact, you have to know what you stand for and why. That means taking the time to understand your own values, beliefs, and priorities. When you're clear on those, your voice will naturally carry conviction. It also means choosing the right tone and timing. Speaking up doesn't mean shouting over others or trying to win every argument. It means delivering your truth in a way that's firm but respectful, assertive but open. It's about making it harder for people to dismiss you because your words are grounded in reason, honesty, and self-respect. And let's be real, there will be times when you speak and people still won't listen. There will be moments when you share your heart and someone laughs, changes the subject, or simply ignores you. Those moments hurt, but they don't erase the fact that you had the courage to stand up for yourself. The victory is in the act of speaking, not just in the reaction you get. One of the most liberating shifts you can make is realizing you are not responsible for how people respond to your truth. You are only responsible for telling it. You cannot control if they accept it, agree with it, or even understand it. But you can control whether you let fear silence you or let courage guide you. And here's the beautiful irony: the more you speak up, the less your voice will shake. It's like a muscle: the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Soon the things you once hesitated to say will flow from your mouth with ease. The conversations you used to dread will become opportunities to stand taller. You'll stop rehearsing your truth in your head and start living it out loud. When you speak up, even with a trembling voice, you take ownership of your life. You stop waiting for someone to give you permission to exist fully. You start shaping your reality instead of being shaped by it. And one day, you'll look back and realize that those moments where your voice shook the most were the moments that shaped you the most. 5. Life used to shrink to fit small spaces. From the time you were young, you may have been told to tone it down. Don't be too much. Or don't take up too much space. Maybe you felt the sting of being called too loud, too ambitious, or too confident, as if these were flaws you should fix. Over time, these messages can make you start folding yourself into smaller and smaller versions, hoping you'll fit into the narrow spaces the world gives you. But here's the truth: you were never meant to live compressed. Refusing to shrink is about standing tall in the fullness of who you are, even when it makes others uncomfortable. It's about owning your talents without apologizing, celebrating your successes without downplaying them, and walking into every room as if you belong there. Because you do. The problem is, small spaces often feel safe. If you play small, you avoid criticism. If you keep quiet, you avoid conflict. If you don't aim too high, you avoid the risk of failure. But the safety of smallness comes at a cost. It robs you of the life you're capable of living. Dreams don't grow in cramped corners. Confidence doesn't flourish in cages. Shrinking yourself can look like saying it's nothing when someone compliments your work, or holding back your ideas in a meeting because you don't want to be that person.
It can be staying in a job that undervalues you because you're scared of what's beyond it, or dimming your personality so others don't feel overshadowed. But every time you shrink, you chip away at your own identity. Living fully means giving yourself permission to take up space. Physically, mentally, and emotionally, it means walking with your head high, using your voice without hesitation, and embracing the qualities that make you unique instead of hiding them. It means recognizing that someone else's discomfort with your light is not your problem to solve. You will meet people who want you smaller because it makes them feel bigger. They may disguise it as advice, concern, or even a joke, but their words are meant to keep you in a box they find manageable. The moment you notice this, remember their comfort is not your responsibility. You are not here to make yourself less so someone else can feel more. Greatness has a weight to it, and not everyone will be able to carry it alongside you. That's why some people will fall away when you step into your full power. Let them. The right people will never ask you to shrink, they'll encourage you to expand. Your life is the sum of the spaces you choose to stand in. Choose the ones big enough for your dreams, your voice, and your potential. Choose the ones that allow you to breathe, grow, and move freely in your truth. 6. Turn pain into power. Every woman carries a story. Somewhere in your life there's a chapter you didn't want to live through. A season that tested you, broke you, or left you wondering if you'd ever feel whole again. It could have been heartbreak, betrayal, loss, failure, or a moment where the ground disappeared from under your feet. Pain has a way of making you feel powerless, but it can also become the greatest source of strength you will ever know. Turning pain into power doesn't mean pretending it never happened, or forcing yourself to just get over it. It means facing it head on, allowing yourself to feel it, and then using it as fuel to rise higher. Pain can either imprison you or shape you into someone unshakable. The choice is yours. The first step is acceptance. Many people waste years resisting reality, replaying the why me loop in their minds. But pain doesn't begin to transform until you stop fighting its existence. Acceptance is not agreement. It's not saying what happened was right. It's saying this is my reality, and now I choose what to do with it. That shift in mindset opens the door to growth. The second step is extracting the lessons. Every hardship has something to teach you, but the lesson is often buried under layers of anger, sadness, or confusion. Maybe that betrayal taught you to trust your instincts more. Maybe that failure taught you the value of preparation and persistence. Maybe that loss taught you to cherish every moment you have. The lesson is the gold you mine from the rubble, and once you take it, the pain no longer owns you. Turning pain into power also means refusing to let it define you. You are not just the woman who was abandoned, cheated on, fired, or overlooked. You are the woman who got up, rebuilt, and came back stronger. When you reframe your story, you stop being a victim and start being a warrior. Another key to transformation is channeling your pain into something constructive. Some of the most powerful businesses, movements, and works of art were born out of someone's darkest moments. Pain gives you depth, empathy, and a perspective others may never understand. And those are powerful tools for impact. You can turn your struggle into a mission to help others, a project that inspires change, or a goal that fuels your determination. It's also important to surround yourself with the right environment during this process. Healing in isolation can be dangerous if it leads to constant rumination. Instead, seek spaces where your pain can be heard without judgment. Whether that's trusted friends, a mentor, a support group, or professional help. Sometimes your pain feels too heavy to carry alone, and you're not meant to carry it alone. And here's something that often surprises people. Your pain can become your source of confidence. Once you've walked through fire and survived, you realize there's very little left to fear. You've already faced some of the worst, and you're still here. That realization can make you unstoppable. Suddenly, opportunities that once scared you seem small compared to what you've endured. Pain has the power to strip you down to your core, but it also has the power to rebuild you with stronger materials. The cracks it leaves behind aren't weaknesses. They're proof that you lived, learned, and endured. They are reminders that you've been through battles and emerged not just alive but wiser, tougher, and more compassionate toward yourself and others. When you turn pain into power, you take control of the narrative. You stop letting the hardest parts of your life be the end of your story, and you start making them the beginning of something greater. 7. Surround yourself with builders, not breakers. The people around you are not just part of your life. They are shaping it every single day. Whether you realize it or not, your circle influences your mindset, your confidence, your decisions, and even the speed of your growth. That's why it's critical to surround yourself with builders. The people who lift you up, push you forward, and remind you of your worth when you forget. And to distance yourself from breakers, the ones who slowly chip away at your spirit. Builders are the ones who believe in your vision even when it's still just an idea in your head. They are the friends who celebrate your wins without jealousy and stand with you during losses without judgment. They challenge you to think bigger, work harder, and aim higher. Not because they want to control you, but because they genuinely want to see you win. Builders don't just offer support when it's convenient. They are consistent. Breakers, on the other hand, can be harder to spot. They might not openly sabotage you, but their words, attitudes, and actions slowly drain your confidence. They might constantly point out what could go wrong instead of what could go right. They might disguise their discouragement as just being realistic, but their version of reality is built on fear, not possibility. They might make subtle jokes about your goals, dismiss your achievements, or act indifferent to your progress. Sometimes breakers are not malicious. They may genuinely care about you but are stuck in their own limited thinking. However, being close to someone who constantly doubts themselves can make you doubt yourself too. Energy is contagious, and if you're surrounded by fear and negativity, it's only a matter of time before it seeps into your mindset. One of the most powerful moves you can make in life is to audit your circle. Ask yourself, who inspires me? Who challenges me to be better? Who celebrates my growth instead of resenting it? Who drains me emotionally, mentally, or spiritually? Who makes me feel small or unworthy? These questions might lead to uncomfortable truths, but they're necessary if you want to grow. Surrounding yourself with builders also means seeking out environments where ambition and positivity thrive. This might mean joining professional networks, attending workshops, finding mentors, or connecting with like-minded individuals online. Builders are everywhere, but you have to be intentional about finding them. You can't expect to plant yourself in toxic soil and still grow strong roots. It's equally important to be a builder yourself. Relationships are two-way streets, and the same way you seek people who uplift you, you should also aim to uplift others. Encourage your friends when they doubt themselves. Celebrate their wins with genuine joy. Offer your help and support without keeping score. When you embody the energy you want to receive, you naturally attract more of it into your life. Sometimes choosing builders means letting go of certain relationships, and that can be painful. You might outgrow people you once felt close to, or realize that someone you've known for years is holding you back. Letting go doesn't mean you hate them, it means you love yourself enough to protect your growth. When you commit to surrounding yourself with builders, you create an environment where your dreams are not only safe but encouraged. You stop feeling like you have to apologize for wanting more. You stop doubting whether you're capable because you have voices around you that remind you every day that you are. And over time, those voices help you build a life far greater than the one you thought you could have. 8. Master your finances like your freedom depends on it. Money is not just paper, coins, or numbers on a bank screen. It's freedom, options, and security. For a woman, financial independence is more than a goal. It's a lifeline. It means you can make choices based on what's best for you, not based on fear or dependency. It means you can walk away from situations that no longer serve you, because you have the resources to stand on your own. Mastering your finances is not just about survival. It's about creating the life you want without waiting for permission. For too long, women have been conditioned to take a backseat in financial matters. Whether through cultural norms, societal pressure, or generational habits, many have been told directly or indirectly to let someone else handle the money. But the truth is, the person who controls the money often controls the decisions. If you want to live life on your terms, you must take ownership of your financial knowledge and power.